You are on the long watch. The deep dark is your constant companion. Your ship, the Odyssey, glides through the endless night. Nothing has happened for 3 months. Nothing is expected to happen. Your only job is to watch the sensors, to listen for anything that goes bump in the night, and mostly, nothing does. The void is vast and terribly empty. You take a sip of lukewarm coffee. The recycled air tastes stale. The hum of the life support system is a familiar lullaby. Your eyes scan the cascading data streams. Green lines on a black screen. They are the heartbeat of an empty universe. It is a lonely job, a sentry post on the edge of known space. You are the wall between everything and the great nothing. Then you see it, a flicker, a ghost on the screen. It is a signal, so faint you almost miss it. Your training kicks in instantly. You isolate the frequency. You run diagnostics. Every test says the same thing. The signal is real, but it cannot be. It comes from the Serpent's Coil, a nebula where star charts go blank, a place no ship has ever returned from. The signal is not a language you know. It is not binary. It is not quantum. It pulses like a living thing. It feels ancient, impossibly old, like a whisper from a lost age, a ghost calling out from a forgotten grave. Your heart pounds against your ribs. This is not a distress call. It feels like something else entirely, something more. You amplify the signal. The ship's computers work hard. They struggle to make sense of the alien data. Fragments of information resolve on the main screen. They are not words, but concepts. Images of impossible geometry. Star maps of galaxies you have never seen. And a feeling, a sense of deep, profound loss. It is a lament, an echo of a civilization long dead. Your captain joins you on the bridge. Her face is a mask of disbelief. She sees the data on your screen. She feels the strange melancholy of the signal. Standard protocol is clear. Report the anomaly. Wait for orders from high command. But the signal is compelling. It pulls at you. A siren song from the depths of space. It promises answers to questions humanity has not yet learned to ask. The captain makes a decision. She decides to follow the whisper, to trace it back to its source. It is a risk, a huge one. You are one ship, alone on the frontier. Plunging into the unknown is a fool's errand. Or perhaps it is destiny. You feel a strange sense of purpose, as if your whole life has led to this single moment. The coffee is forgotten. Sleep is a distant memory. There is only the signal, the echo in the void. Your ship alters its course. It turns its nose toward the Serpent's Coil. The nebula looms in your view screen, a swirling mass of gas and dust. It is a beautiful and terrifying sight, a place where stars are born and ships die. You are a firefly flying into a storm, but you are not afraid. You are driven by a need to know, to understand the source of this ancient call. The ghost in the machine has called your name, and you have answered. The journey into the nebula is tense. The Odyssey shudders as it enters the dense clouds. Your sensors are almost useless here. Interference screams across every channel. But the strange signal remains clear. It is your only guide, a single thread in a chaotic labyrinth. You follow it deeper and deeper, past newborn stars and dying suns. The silence in the cockpit is thick. Every crew member is focused. Their faces are lit by the green glow of their monitors. Days turn into weeks. The nebula seems endless. You start to wonder if this is a wild goose chase, some strange natural phenomenon your sensors misread. Maybe you are chasing a star science mirage, Then, the signal gets stronger. Its melancholy tone deepens. It feels closer now. Much closer. The anticipation on the bridge is electric. You are on the verge of a discovery, one that will change everything. And then, you see it. Your ship breaks through the final veil of gas. The view screen clears, and you are looking at the impossible. A fleet, a silent, dead fleet. Hundreds of ships, no, thousands of them. They are adrift in a perfect formation, a ghost armada in the heart of the nebula. They are unlike any design you have seen, sleek, organic, and impossibly large. Each one is at least 1 kilometer long. They are monuments of a forgotten power. They float in the darkness. There are no lights, no energy signatures, no signs of life. They are tombs, cold, silent tombs. The signal you followed seems to be coming from the flagship, a vessel that dwarfs all the others. It is a behemoth, a mountain of alien metal. It sits at the heart of the formation, a dead king on a dead throne. Your scanners confirm the silence. The fleet is utterly without power. It is a graveyard of giants. The captain orders a slow approach. Your little ship, the Odyssey, is a fly buzzing around a dead Leviathan. The scale is hard to comprehend. These ships were built by gods or demons. The silence is the most unsettling part. A fleet this size should be loud, full of the hum of engines, the chatter of communications. But there is nothing, just the cold, indifferent silence of space. You run a scan of the flagship's hull. The metal is an unknown alloy. It is scarred and pitted, evidence of a battle beyond imagination. Weapons you cannot even conceive of were used here. What could have done this? What could have silenced a fleet of such magnitude? The questions hang in the air, unspoken but felt by everyone on the bridge. This was not a fleet that fell to just any foe. This was a last stand. You feel a sense of awe and dread. You have stumbled upon a great mystery, a secret hidden from the galaxy for millions of years. The echo you followed was not just a lament. It was a warning, a beacon left behind by the dead. And now, you are here, the first to hear their story, the first to witness their silent testament. The crew looks to the captain. Her face is grim. She knows what must be done. You have to board one of the ships. You have to find out what happened here. It is a breach of every regulation in the book. But this is beyond regulations. This is about survival, the survival of your species. You have a terrible feeling. The fate of this ancient fleet is tied to your own. Their story is not over. And you have just become a part of it. The decision is made. Your team will board the lead vessel, the giant at the heart of the silent fleet. Preparations are swift and silent. You suit up in your environmental gear. The helmet seals with a familiar hiss. Your pulse is a steady drum in your ears. This is what you trained for. Exploring the unknown, pushing the boundaries of human experience. Still, your hands tremble slightly as you check your equipment. It is one thing to train in a simulator. It is another to face a real ghost ship. The boarding craft detaches from the Odyssey. It feels tiny as it crosses the space between ships. The flagship looms larger and larger. Its hull is a landscape of canyons and mountains, a testament to its sheer size. You find a breach in the hull, a gaping wound from some ancient weapon. It is your way in. The boarding craft docks with a soft clang. The sound is jarring in the oppressive silence. It is time. You cycle through the airlock. The inner door slides open. You step onto the deck of the ancient warship. The air is still and cold. A faint metallic tang hangs in the atmosphere. Emergency lights flicker weakly. They cast long, dancing shadows down the corridor. The ship is a tomb, a silent, frozen tomb. The sense of age is overwhelming. You feel like an intruder in a sacred place, a grave robber in the court of a dead king. Dust coats every surface. It is thick and undisturbed, a fine gray powder that rises in clouds around your boots. Millions of years of silence have settled here. You move cautiously down the main corridor. Your team follows in tight formation. Your helmet lights cut through the gloom. They reveal corridors that stretch into darkness, vast chambers that could hold entire cities. The scale is still hard to process. It was a world unto itself. You find the crew quarters. The personal effects of the crew are still there, frozen in time. A cup on a table, a book with unreadable script, a child's toy carved from a strange, crystalline material. It is a haunting sight. These were people. They lived and they died on this ship. They had families. They had hopes. They had dreams. And they were all extinguished. It makes the silence even heavier. As you explore deeper, you realize something strange. The ship is not just a tomb. There are sections that are different. Sealed chambers that hum with a faint energy. Your tricorder picks up signs of life support. Cryogenic systems on a low power setting. You approach one of the chambers. A thick viewport allows you to see inside. And what you see takes your breath away. It is a cradle. Thousands of pods are arranged in neat rows. Inside each pod, a humanoid figure sleeps. They are suspended in a shimmering blue liquid. Their faces are serene, peaceful. They are not the ship's original crew. They are smaller, more delicate. They look human. It is impossible, but the readings are clear. The DNA signatures are a match. They are your ancestors. The ship is an ark. It carried the seeds of humanity across the stars. The revelation stuns you. Humanity did not evolve on Earth. You were colonists, refugees, the children of a fallen civilization. This fleet, this ghost armada, was your shield, your protectors. They fought and died so that your species could survive, so that you could be born on a quiet blue planet, safe from the horrors that consumed your creators. A wave of gratitude washes over you, a debt that can never be repaid. You look at the sleeping faces, the progenitors of your entire species. They are waiting for a signal to awaken, waiting for a time when it is safe to be reborn. But the ship is dead. The awakening sequence failed. They are trapped in an endless sleep, unless you can find a way to restore power, unless you can finish what they started. The mission has changed. It is no longer about discovery. It is about rescue. It is about legacy. You must find the bridge. You must find the ship's log. You have to understand what happened. What enemy could destroy a fleet of gods? What terror hunted your ancestors across the stars? The answers are somewhere on this ship, hidden in the dark, waiting in the dust. You press on, deeper into the heart of the giant. Your own history is at stake. The path to the bridge is a long one. You and your team navigate the labyrinthine corridors. The ship is a dead city, full of silent plazas and dark towers. The emergency lights become scarcer. You rely on your helmet lamps completely. The darkness feels heavy, alive, as if it is watching you, judging you. The silence is broken only by the sound of your own breathing. You pass through vast hangars. They are filled with smaller craft, fighters and bombers of a sleek, deadly design. They stand ready for a launch that never came. Weapons are still mounted on their pylons, a silent testament to the fleet's readiness. They were prepared for war, but the war they found was one they could not win. The evidence of their defeat is all around you. Finally, you reach the bridge. It is a colossal chamber, a dome of what was once transparent metal. Now it is cracked and starred. It offers a fractured view of the nebula outside, and of the other dead ships in the fleet. Consoles are arranged in concentric circles. They face a central command chair, a throne for the admiral of this mighty armada. The dust is thickest here, a shroud covering the last moments of the crew. You see them at their stations, skeletons in ancient uniforms. They died at their posts, still trying to fight back, still trying to save their people. Their bony fingers rest on dead controls. Their empty eye sockets stare into the void. It is a scene of utter desolation, a monument to a final, desperate stand. You feel a profound respect for these fallen heroes. Your distant, unknown kin. You move toward the command chair. A single skeleton sits there. The admiral. One hand is raised, as if giving a final order. The other rests on the ship's log interface. This is it. The source of the signal. The reason you came all this way. The log is a small, crystalline device. It glows with a faint, pulsing light. The last spark of life on this dead bridge. It is the echo in the void. You gently take the log. The admiral's skeletal fingers crumble to dust at your touch. The moment feels heavy with significance. You are holding the last words of a lost civilization, the story of your own forgotten past. Your tech specialist gets to work. He produces a portable interface. He carefully connects it to the ancient log. He has to bypass security systems that are millions of years old. He's good, but you can tell he's never tried to crack a password set during the last galactic merger. The specialist mutters to himself. His fingers fly across his portable console. The ship's log is a puzzle box, a digital fortress, but he is a master locksmith. Minutes feel like hours. The silence on the bridge stretches. The skeletal crew watches you with their empty eyes. Then, a flicker of light. The log activates. The specialist grins. "I'm in," he says. His voice sounds loud in the dead quiet. The log's data streams onto his screen. He transfers the relevant files to your suit's display. You open the final entry, the Admiral's last report. The words appear in your vision, translated into your own language by the interface. The script is elegant, poetic even in its despair. It is a message in dust, a final testament from the edge of oblivion. The log entry begins. The date is meaningless to you, a time stamp from an age before your son was born. The Admiral's voice, reconstructed by the log, fills your helmet. It is calm, resignated, the voice of a leader who has accepted their fate. He speaks of a great journey, a flight from a home galaxy you have never heard of. He speaks of a long and terrible war, a war that they were losing. The Admiral describes the enemy. He does not give them a name. He calls them the Scourge, a force of nature, a tide of hunger that sweeps through the cosmos. He says they are not alive in any sense you would understand. They are a negation of life, a swarm that consumes stars and civilizations. They leave nothing behind but darkness and silence, the silence you are now standing in. He details their final, desperate battle. They led the Scourge here, to this empty nebula, a place where their final stand would not endanger any young worlds. They knew they could not win. Their goal was to buy time, to allow the civilian ships, the Arks, to escape, to find a safe harbor, to plant the seeds of their race on new soil. The ship you are on was the flagship of that rearguard, the shield that protected the cradles. The Admiral's voice grows heavy with sorrow. He speaks of the sacrifice of his crew, of the billions of lives lost in the war. He mourns the loss of their home world, the destruction of their great empire. He knows this is the end of his people, the end of their long and brilliant history. He seems to look right at you, as if seeing across the ages. This is not just a log entry. It is a warning. His final words are a plea, a message to whoever might find this log. He warns that the scourge is still out there. They are patient. They are eternal. They will one day move on from their dead galaxy. They will spread to others. He speaks of a weakness, a flaw in their seemingly invincible nature. But the log entry cuts off before he can explain. The final words are a burst of static, a record of the weapon that finally breached the bridge. The moment the ship died. You stand in the silence. The Admiral's last words echo in your mind. The truth is staggering. Your entire existence is a lie. You are not the masters of your own destiny. You are the children of a lost people, hiding on a forgotten world. And the monster that destroyed your ancestors is still out there. It is coming. The silence of the fleet is not an end. It is a pause, a breath before the storm. The scourge is coming for you. The message in the dust has been read. Now you carry its terrible burden. The knowledge changes everything. Your small ship, the Odyssey, feels fragile. Your home world feels vulnerable. The entire human race is a tiny island in a cosmic ocean, and a tidal wave is on its horizon. You look at the skeletal admiral. You finally understand his sacrifice. And you know what you must do. You must continue his fight. The log entry you just read was only the beginning. The ship's computer held more than just the Admiral's final words. It held the history of a people. Your people, the progenitors. As you delve deeper into the archives, a story unfolds. It is a story of a civilization that rose to heights you can barely imagine. They were masters of energy and matter. They built worlds. They tamed suns. Their empire spanned an entire galaxy. They were, for a time, the undisputed lords of their star science. You learn about their culture. They were artists and philosophers, warriors and explorers. Not so different from you. They valued knowledge above all else. They saw the universe as a great puzzle, one they were determined to solve. Their central repository of knowledge was called the Celestial Archives. Though your translator fumbles the word, it prefers the Starborn Library. It was said to contain the secrets of creation itself, a place of ultimate truth. But they were not alone. The log speaks of other ancient races, beings of immense power and wisdom. The progenitors were not the first to rise. They were simply the latest in a long line of galactic empires. A cycle of birth, growth, and decay. A cosmic wheel turning through the eons. The log shows images of these other races. The serene, crystalline builders. The fiery, chaotic elder ones. A dozen other names you cannot pronounce. All of them gone now. Faded into legend. The progenitors studied the ruins of these older civilizations. They tried to understand why they all fell. They found a disturbing pattern. Every great empire, at its peak, encountered the same enemy. The scourge, the same swarm that destroyed this fleet. The log describes them in horrifying detail. They are not a species. They are a phenomenon, a galactic immune response, a system that culls civilizations that grow too powerful, too advanced. It is a terrifying thought that the universe itself has a predator. The scourge from beyond is not something you can fight with ships. It is not something you can reason with. It is a force of cosmic entropy. The progenitor scientists learned its nature. The swarm is a hive mind of self-replicating nanites, each one no larger than a grain of sand. But together, they form a thinking ocean, a cloud of intelligent dust that travels through the void. They consume energy, all energy, from the stars in the sky to the electrical impulses in your brain. They operate on a level of physics you do not understand. They can manipulate space and time. They can turn a sun into a black hole. They can rewrite the laws of nature. The progenitors' weapons, as powerful as they were like stones thrown against a hurricane. The scourge did not just destroy their ships, it erased them from reality. The log contains simulations of their attacks, entire star systems vanishing in the blink of an eye, leaving behind only starless, silent space. You watch the simulations with a growing sense of dread. The scourge is not just an enemy. It is a cosmic horror, a monster from the darkest corners of science fiction, and it is real. It is the reason the galaxy is so quiet, the reason you have never found evidence of other advanced life. They were all harvested, culled by the swarm. Humanity is next on the menu. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. The progenitors understood this. They knew they could not defeat the scourge. Not with force, not with weapons. So they devised a new strategy, a desperate gambit. They could not save themselves, but they could save their legacy, their children. They created the arks, the cradles that carried your sleeping ancestors. They sent them out into the void, to hidden worlds and quiet galaxies, hoping that some would survive. But they also left behind a weapon, a final gift to their descendants, a way to fight back, not to destroy the scourge, that was impossible, but to survive it, to hide from it. The weapon was not a ship, it was not a bomb, it was knowledge, the collected wisdom of their entire civilization, the secrets of the Starborn Library, the key to understanding the scourge's weakness. The Admiral died before he could reveal it. But the ship's log tells you where to find it. You must find the Celestial Archives, the Starborn Library. It is the progenitors' greatest secret, their last hope. The log contains a map, a complex multi-layered star chart. It leads to a hidden corner of the galaxy, a place where the scourge cannot easily go. The archives are not a building. They are a pocket dimension, a sanctuary hidden between the folds of reality. It is the only place safe from the swarm. The awakening of this ship was a trigger. The faint signal it sent out was a call to arms. Not for the progenitors, they are long gone. It was a call for their successors, for you. But it was also a beacon, a flare in the darkness. Awakening the fleet has alerted the swarm. The log is very clear on this point. The scourge will have detected the energy spike. They will be coming to investigate. The ancient hunt has begun anew. You have a head start. But not by much. The scourge is fast, impossibly fast. The race against oblivion has begun. You must get to the archives before they do. You must claim the knowledge that is your birthright, the tools you need to save your species. You download the map from the ship's log. You transfer all the relevant data to the Odyssey's computers. It is time to leave this graveyard. Your team retreats from the dead ship. You leave the skeletal crew to their eternal watch. You feel a connection to them now, a bond of shared history and shared purpose. You are the last of their line, the carriers of their legacy. You will not let their sacrifice be in vain. You return to your ship, the small, fragile Odyssey. It feels less like a military vessel now, and more like a treasure ship, carrying the most precious cargo in the universe, the hope of humanity. As the Odyssey pulls away from the Ghost Fleet, you take one last look. The giant ships recede into the mists of the nebula, silent and majestic in their death. They are a reminder of what is at stake, the cost of failure. You set your course for the location on the map, a distant, unknown region of space. The journey will be long and dangerous. But you are not afraid. You are filled with a grim determination. The children of Earth are going to war, a war for their very right to exist. The progenitor's warning has been heard, and their final gambit is now in your hands. Your ship, the Odyssey, is a spark of light in the vast dark. You have left the Ghost Fleet far behind. The nebula is a fading jewel in your rear view. Before you lies the open void, and the path laid out by your ancestors. The map to the star-born library is your only guide. It is a complex web of hyperspace lanes and gravitational slingshots, a route designed to be fast and secret. You are not alone for long. As you travel, your long-range communicators pick up something, a signal. It is not the scourge. It is something else. A message being broadcast on an open channel. It uses the same ancient language as the progenitor's log, the language you can now understand. It is a message of greeting and of alliance. The message says, "The signal has been answered. The children of the firstborn are awake. We are coming." Soon they appear, ships warping into existence around you. They are not human designs. They are not progenitor designs. They are utterly alien. One fleet is a collection of crystalline vessels. They shimmer and refract the starlight, like sculptures of pure diamond. Another is a flotilla of biological ships, great living creatures that move with a strange, fluid grace. There are others, ships of fire and shadow, ships of metal and light, a dozen different species, a dozen different fleets. They form a loose escort around the Odyssey. They do not threaten you. They treat you with a strange reverence. Their leaders open a channel to your bridge. You see their faces on your main screen. The leaders of the first Guardians. They are the descendants of the other civilizations, the ones who lived alongside the progenitors. Their ancestors also received the warning. They also sent out arcs. They also survived. Hidden away on their own secret worlds, the leaders speak to you, a chorus of alien voices. They tell you their story. They have waited for this day, for the signal from the progenitor fleet, the call to unite against the common enemy. They knew this day would come. Their own histories foretold it. The final war against the scourge. They look to you for leadership. Your people, the progenitors, were the leaders of the last great alliance. They believe you are destined to lead this one. It's a lot of pressure. You were worried about filing your taxes last month. Now you have to lead a galactic coalition. You realize the truth. Humanity is not the only heir to this war. You are part of a galactic family, a community of survivors. All children of the ancient empires, all hiding from the same monster. And now, all united by the same hope, the hope of finding the star-born library, the key to their collective survival. It is a staggering revelation. You are not alone in the universe. And for the first time, that is both a comfort and a terror, because now you have more to lose. Forging an alliance is not easy. The first Guardians are made up of old rivals, species that have fought wars against each other in the past. There are deep-seated mistrusts, ancient grudges. The crystalline beings, the Olaris, despise the bioships of the Zethar. The fiery Xylos think the shadowy Lumina are cowards. The history of the galaxy is written in the blood of their ancestors, and old habits die hard. You must become a diplomat, a peacemaker. You organize a council of captains. You meet in a neutral zone, a shared virtual space. You argue and debate for days. Trust is the only currency that matters now. You must convince them to put aside their differences, to focus on the greater threat. The Scourge does not care about their old wars. It will consume them all equally. Their choice is simple: unite or perish. You tell them your story. You show them the logs from the progenitor's ship, the sacrifice of your ancestors. You speak of the shared threat, the shared hope. You appeal to their sense of self-preservation and to their honor. Slowly, painfully, you build a consensus. You forge a new alliance, a fragile coalition of old enemies. Bound together by a common purpose, they agree to follow you, to follow the map left by the progenitors. The children of humanity are now the leaders of a galactic fleet. No pressure at all. The combined fleet is a magnificent sight. Thousands of ships from a dozen different civilizations, all moving as one, following the tiny odyssey. Your ship is the key. It holds the map. It holds the legacy of the progenitors. The journey is long. The map leads you through uncharted territory, a region of space known as the Starless Path. It is a place where the light of distant galaxies does not reach, a patch of absolute blackness. The Starless Path is unnerving. The lack of stars is disorienting. It feels like you are traveling through nothingness, a void between universes. The fleet grows tense. The silence is heavy. It is the perfect hunting ground for the Scourge. There is nowhere to hide. You are a line of candles marching through a dark forest, a beacon for the wolves. And the wolves are coming. Your sensors pick up the first signs: faint distortions in space-time, gravitational anomalies that should not exist. These are the whispers of the Scourge. They're forward scouts. They are not ships. They are ripples in the fabric of reality. They move without propulsion. They are everywhere and nowhere at once. They are testing your defenses, probing your weaknesses. The presence of the Scourge has a disturbing effect. It twists reality itself. Crew members experience hallucinations. They see things that are not there, hear voices in the static. The laws of physics seem to bend and warp. Corridors stretch into impossible lengths. Clocks run backward. The fleet is on edge. Fear is a poison, and it is spreading quickly. It's like that one time you ate a bad burrito, but for your entire perception of reality. You have your first real encounter with the enemy. A scout appears directly in front of the fleet. It is not a ship, but a hole in space, a sphere of perfect blackness that absorbs all light. It is a wound in the universe. It hangs there, silent and menacing. Then it attacks, not with lasers or missiles. It attacks with thought. A wave of pure terror washes over the fleet, a psychic scream that bypasses your hulls. It targets the minds of your crews. The effect is devastating. Weaker-willed crew members go mad. They turn on each other. They try to sabotage their own ships. The alliance you built so carefully begins to fracture. Old hatreds resurface. The Olaris accuse the Zethar of treachery. The Xylos fire on the Lumina. The fleet is turning on itself. This is the Scourge's true weapon. Not destruction, but division. It turns your own strengths into weaknesses. You have to act. You broadcast a message to the entire fleet. You use the command protocols the progenitors left behind. Your voice cuts through the psychic noise. You remind them of their purpose, of their shared enemy. You remind them that this is a test, a trick of the mind. You urge them to hold fast, to trust each other, to remember the alliance they forged. Your words are a lifeline in a sea of madness. Slowly, the tide turns. The captains regain control of their ships. The fighting stops. The fleet holds its formation. They have faced the whispers of the scourge and survived. They are shaken. They are wounded. But they are still together. The experience has forged them in a fire you could not have planned. They are no longer a loose coalition. They are an army, tempered and hardened. The sphere of blackness vanishes. It has delivered its message. It knows you are coming, and it is waiting. The fleet presses on, deeper into the starless path. The whispers of the scourge are a constant presence now, a pressure on the edge of your senses. But you are ready for them. You know their tricks. You have faced their terror. The alliance is stronger than ever. The shared hardship has burned away the old mistrusts. You are a single entity now, a spear pointed at the heart of the darkness. Finally, you reach the end of the path. The map leads you to a final set of coordinates, a seemingly empty point in space. There is nothing here, no star, no planet, nothing. But the map is insistent. This is the location of the Starborn Library, the archives. You realize it is hidden, protected by a final layer of security, a final test. You have come this far. You have faced the ghosts of the past and the horrors of the present. One last challenge remains. The progenitor logs spoke of this. The price of knowledge. The archives are not given freely. They must be earned. The final guardian is not a monster or a machine. It is a choice, a test of sacrifice. The log says the archives require a key, a spark of life and consciousness. To open the door, a mind must be offered, not destroyed, but integrated, fused with the archive's own sentience. One person must become the living librarian. Forever, a wave of cold realization washes over you. This is the ultimate sacrifice. To give up your individuality, your body, your future, to become a part of a vast, ancient intelligence, to guard its knowledge for eternity. It is a fate both terrifying and beautiful. To become something more than human, to transcend, but at the cost of everything you are. The leaders of the Alliance look to you. The choice is yours. As the heir to the progenitors, it is your right and your burden. You could order one of them to do it, but you know you cannot. This is your responsibility, your journey. From the moment you saw that first flicker on your screen, this was your path, your destiny. It has all led to this single, impossible choice. You stand on the bridge of the Odyssey. The faces of your crew look at you. The hopes of a dozen species rest on your shoulders. You think about your home, about Earth, about the billions of lives who are counting on you, who do not even know they are in danger. You think about the Admiral on his dead throne, about the sacrifice he made. His fight is now your fight. You make your decision. There is no other way. You will be the key. You will pay the price of knowledge. You transmit your final orders to the fleet. You designate a new commander. You say your goodbyes. Your voice is steady. You feel a strange sense of peace. The fear is gone, replaced by a profound sense of purpose. This is not an end. It is a transformation. You step into the short-range teleporter. The crew of the Odyssey gives you a final, silent salute. Their faces are a mixture of sorrow and respect. In their eyes, you are already a hero, a legend. You smile a small, sad smile. Then you give the order. Energize. Light envelops you. Your body dissolves into a stream of pure data. You are beamed into the empty space, into the heart of the final test. You are consciousness without a body. Pure thought. You feel the presence of the archives, a vast, sleeping mind. It senses you, it probes you, it shows you visions, the birth of stars, the death of galaxies, the rise and fall of countless civilizations. It shows you the full horror of the scourge and the desperate hope of the progenitors. It asks you one final question. Are you worthy? You do not answer with words. You answer with your memories, your experiences, your hopes, your fears. You show it the journey of the Odyssey, the Ghost Fleet, the Alliance, the starless path. You show it the courage of your crew, the resilience of your new allies. You show it your willingness to sacrifice. You offer yourself completely, without reservation. The great mind accepts your offering. The door opens. Reality folds around you. You feel a sense of homecoming, a merging with something ancient and vast. Your individual consciousness expands. You are no longer just you. You are the archives. You are the sum of all the knowledge of the progenitors. You are the librarian, the guardian, the key. From your new perspective, you see the universe in its entirety. You see the scourge for what it is, a flaw in the cosmic code, a bug in the system. And you see the solution, the way to defeat it. It is not a weapon. It is an idea, a piece of information that can rewrite the scourge's fundamental programming, to turn its hunger back on itself. It is elegant. It is brilliant. And it is humanity's only hope. You open a channel to the Allied fleet. Your voice is no longer your own. It is a chorus of 1 billion souls, the voice of the progenitors themselves. You give them the knowledge, the weapon of ideas. You show them how to build the devices that will transmit the code, how to deploy them, how to win the war. The fleet receives your message. A new sense of hope fills them. They have their weapon. They have their mission. Your part in the story is over. But a new story is just beginning. Humanity's final dawn. The Allied fleet turns to face the coming darkness. They are armed with the wisdom of the ancients, led by the children of Earth. They are the galaxy's last line of defense. And you will watch over them, the silent guardian in the star-born library, the ghost in the machine who saved everyone. Your sacrifice has given them a future. Now, they must earn it. The war has just begun.